All right, well, plenty of numbers still coming through here at the Results Operations Centre. Plenty of people coming through as well. And of course, there are all sorts of conversations and people who are looking at some of the results. Some cases shaking their heads, in some cases celebrating. Also, of course, various people who hold different offices and basically just coming through to have a look at what's happening. One of them is the mayor of the place in which we currently are. Midrand, as you know, is part of Johannesburg. Kabelo Gwamanda is the mayor of Joburg. He's from the political party Jama-ah. He joins us now. Mr. Mayor, good evening. Thanks for coming through tonight.
Good evening, Stephen, and thank you for having me.
You're hosting the Results Operations Centre. It used to be Tshwane that used to host these at the national showgrounds. When you look around you, you know that all of this is happening in Joburg, it's happening in your city, and it's the focus of the entire country at the moment.
Of course. I think for us it's an opportunity for the entire world to see what the city of Johannesburg exactly has to offer. I mean, the IEC has done a stellar job, but in the background, our law enforcement, our EMS, our fire department, our entire job is here. So we've also equally ensured that Joburg Water, City Power, they are equally here to ensure that our service delivery is consistent and that there are no disruptions or any form of interruptions on the part of the city. And at this point, I was congratulating them on the hard work that they've put in, but also encourage them to continue until the last day so that we can be part of the process when they declare eventually a free and fair election.
I presume that you're going to try and give Joburg residents the same level of service from Joburg Water.
Look, the fact of the matter is that by virtue of us being able to do this, it's a practical demonstration that we are equally working to ensure that the sustainable access to service delivery related matters is applicable across the board. We've had challenges with water and we've acknowledged the challenges that we've had. Not only do we look at the historical contributing factor, but we are in the main focusing on what we are going to do in the immediate and ensure that in the future we do not encounter the same problem. For our successors not to face the same problems that we did at this point in time.
I have to ask you about your political party. You're from Jama-ah. You have 3 councillors in the city of Joburg. The last time I checked, it looked like you may not get a seat in the National Assembly. You might get 1 seat. How are you feeling about that?
We are anticipating that the numbers will grow. Ours was to ensure that we retain the seat that we have in Parliament for that representation. Although it is inherent that every political party participates in an election with the intention to govern. But you need to equally look at the realistic approach of how you grow as a political party to get to a point where you are able to offer the country the kind of leadership that it requires. So for us, from inception, where the political party was established to where we are now, we've grown significantly. And we are looking towards making our mark in society with the representation that we have in municipalities, provincial legislators, and the National Assembly, so that by the time we are ready to take over, the country has already experienced a government under Jama-ah. I mean, most parties that start at the top almost eventually end up at the bottom. I'm not going to make references to such, but it's a trend that we've seen since 1994.
Okay. You've got 1 seat in Parliament. You're 49.999% of the way away from ever coming close to national government unless you join a coalition. I mean, you say govern. I mean,
yes.
You must surely concede that you have not grown in this election.
No, we have. We have.
How so?
Let the final ballot be counted.
Tell us to wait for the metros.
No, let the final ballot be counted, okay. Especially in this particular election. Look, what I've said is that in this particular election, we were participating with the objective of growing incrementally. We did not have the immediate intention to govern nationally. We are associating the political party, what it represents, its values, in structures and levels in which we participate in to demonstrate our ability.
I'm sorry to be so personal, but I need to put this question to you, which is that it would seem to me that while your leader is Genief Hendricks, as the mayor of Joburg, you've probably been the most public member of your political party, and Kabelo Ahmad before you. It's just the way things have panned out, okay? So I wonder if some people maybe have made their decision about Jama-ah based on the decision of Jama-ah to join an administration and make a person from a very small party the mayor, and that maybe this has backfired. Do you think, looking back, maybe that was a strategic mistake?
On the part of Jama-ah to put myself as the executive mayor?
Yes.
Look,
it's not about you, it's about the decision. If you
yes. I understand it fully. Look, our political party slogan says explicitly that Jama-ah is a political platform for all communities. It's embedded in us that we are founded on Muslim principles, and therefore that is what inspires, that is what defines the manner in which we govern. But in terms of the president's strategic decision to put myself, in fact, as the executive mayor, there were a number of contributing factors that led to that decision being made. So a coalition would have its own discussion, the political party would have its own discussion, and we have to find a point of convergence that would work not only for the political party, but for the purpose of the coalition, and ultimately a decision that would bring about stability.
Under the new bill, which has been gazetted, and I don't know if you've had a chance to look at it because it came out just a week ago now, which is it's the local government structures amendment bill, there would be a threshold. And if that bill were adopted, your party wouldn't be in the council. You would have to have a 1% threshold. I'm sure you would object to that.
Yes, of course, we would object to that. Look, we do not want our democratic processes to be stifled by panic from whichever structures of our government that would seek to impose such. Our electorate makes their decision by entrusting political parties and their councillors. And the councillors would take a decision that would be best for the constituencies that have put them in power. And that has proven to be effective in this regard, because in the absence of our common purpose, our collaboration in the city of Johannesburg, we would not have had a government of the day.
Well, this takes me nicely to my next point. If you get one seat in the National Assembly, and it's still not entirely certain that you will, I think it's certain that you won't get more than that, but if you get one seat, would you still support the ANC?
Jama-ah is an independent political party.
Sure. Yes. But I mean, by and large, you've supported the ANC on most...
It's an independent political party, so if we had to take a decision between the Democratic Alliance and the ANC, our option is quite clear.
Yeah.
There is no way that we would align ourselves to the Democratic Alliance or any of the political parties that came from them. On the simple basis that I keep on reiterating, that we do not want to regress to an apartheid state through a democratic process. And therefore, we would maintain the position that we have either with the ANC or with many of the like-minded political parties in that regard.
Are the EFF and Umkhonto weSizwe like-minded? Do they come into that category?
Look, I personally and the political party that deployed me work very well with the EFF.
Yeah.
We work very well with the ANC.
No, sorry, excuse me. I thought you were going to, I was going to say you have a history, but it wasn't you with the EFF. It was Kabelo Ahmad, I think. Yes, that's right. My apologies.
We work very well with the Patriotic Alliance.
Yes.
We have a relationship to a large extent with the IFP.
Yes.
And as you would know, with the minority governing parties that was spearheaded in the city of Johannesburg, I was deemed the secretary of that particular structure. So those relationships remain there. And people are asking questions about, are you going to start talking to so-and-so or so-and-so? In the political party's mind, they already have the access that is required for us to be able to engage on formulating a government of the day.
Let me put the question to you another way, where I'm really going with this. Would there be any objection to working with MK? If the ANC came to you and said, we're doing a deal with MK, come and join it, would you have an objection?
I don't think I would have any problem with the MK. The MK has been put in Parliament and in the provincial legislature by voters. Voters with a particular ambition and an aspiration of what they would want to see the country look like. So it is for us to accept the decision of the electorate enough for us to engage with those that we perceive to be in the best interest of the majority of the country. And I emphasize the majority of the country.
I think I know what you mean. Kabelo, Gwamanda, it's always good to see you. Thank you for the engagement.
Thank you very much, Stephen.